because there are 54 competitors down there, 6,000 horsepower, and there is the fancied man, Phil Mellor, who you've just seen finishing second in the 750cc race, and Phil Mellor has won with Trevor Nation because it was a dead heat, the third of the 6 races that have so far been held in the series. As you can see, he is fourth in the championship. Leading it is the man who we now think of as a veteran, Keith Hewen, and down there on the grid we have got a mighty assembly of machinery. The weather conditions, I'm glad to say, although we were expecting rain at Thruxton, are absolutely first class. The course is dry, the skies are a bit overcast, but perfectly okay for racing. So there are the first 2 rows, but after the parade lap they don't necessarily come back in that order. Those are the front and second rows definitely. They won't necessarily be in that order when they line up. So Trevor Nation, there is the local man, comes from Tidworth. He's riding a Works 5-valve 4-cylinder Yamaha, and these bikes produce about 110 brake horsepower, and they will do 150 miles an hour. It is a special formula for 750cc 4-stroke machines of 4 approved types. Well, there is one of them. That's young Terry Reimer, 20 years old, comes from Lee Green in London. He won the first 2 rounds here of the championship, the Motorcycle News EBC Brakes Superstock Championship. The lap record, incidentally, is jointly held by Keith Hewen there, number 16, Steve Parrish, who's now his team manager, and Richard Scott, who's riding in the Yamaha Works team this year in Grand Prix racing. And that's 1 minute 26.1 seconds, a speed of 98.6 miles an hour in very lovely, a very interesting formula.
It certainly is, Murray, and as you say, a certain type of machine allowed to compete, and it basically consists of just one main machine from each of the big 4 Japanese manufacturers, 750cc's. The original chassis and engine has to be retained for racing, but it can be modified, though major components cannot be replaced. So a very intricate formula, but what the crux of the matter is that the main engine has to be retained, and that is one which the average rider can buy over the counter.
So we're going round Thruxton now, exiting Seagrave. That left-hander that they're coming up to at the top of the course is Kimpton. That leads into a right-hander, which is Goodwood, and in turn that is followed by the fastest part of this course, the section through Village, the right-hander at Church, which they are on approaching now, the left-hander at Brooklands, and they will be doing some 140 miles an hour in the race on their 110 brake horsepower machines. Now the left-hander, that's Brooklands there, and then they come down to the section where positions can change as they approach the chicane. Right, left, right, Trevor Nation there. This is, of course, the parade lap and not the race. They've still got to come up to the grid and then be shown a 30-second board. And paradoxically, 30 seconds does not mean what it says. It means anything from about nothing to 15 seconds to 30 seconds, and normally they go off about 15 seconds after the ball. So the fancied men are very much Trevor Nation, who is on the 4-cylinder 5-valve Works Yamaha, Phil Mellor, who is well up in the championship in 4th place, and the leader of the championship of course is Keith Hewen, so he's a man that we've got to watch. Terry Reimer, all these are on Yamahas, Nation's on a Yamaha, and Reimer and Keith Hewen. Then Roger Hurst, another very quick rider on a Yamaha, and there's the grid. So Trevor Nation, Steve Chambers, number 6, and there are, as I said earlier on, 54 bikes down there. You can expect an absolutely tearing start, and then they'll obviously get considerably spread out. But that 750cc Metzler production race that you saw was pretty typical of the motorcycle racing you get not only at Thruxton but anywhere else. So, reading from left to right, Number 6 is Steve Chambers on the Yamaha. Then alongside him, the fancied man Keith Ewan. Then beside Ewan is Terry Reimer. And then beside, well, it's go. Away they go. And it is a superb start for Keith Ewan and Roger Hurst. 16 and 19. Round the right-hander at Allard. Then they sweep left. Then they're down to the complex, and in the lead is Keith Ewan, the man who won in the wet at Cadwell. Behind him in second place is Roger Hurst, number 19. In third position it's Terry Reimer, number 15. So it is Yamaha, 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 and watching the blue leathers, Terry Reimer. That is the man to watch. He's only 20 years old, and he's taking the lead. Reimer goes through and takes the lead. And that was, Barry Nutley, a fantastic bit of riding by the young Londoner.
Seems to have staked his claim fairly early on in this race. Halfway around the first lap, stormed into the lead. All the riders, I would imagine, are counting their blessings. The weather's been kind to us today, because this circuit can be notoriously treacherous when it rains. One of these Superstocks riders told me yesterday that at the last meeting here at Thruxton, in a straight line at the 140-mile-an-hour climb up towards Brooklands Bend, the back end skipped out under sheer power. Now, that can't be funny, so they're lucky it's dry.
Terry Reimer leads, Keith Ewan is second, and Reimer has won well over 150 races in his short career. So it's Reimer, the youngster, against 30-year-old veteran Keith Ewan, is challenging for the lead as they go into the second lap. In third position, it's Roger Hurst, so it's still the three Yamahas in the first three positions. Well, Reimer is very definitely the man to watch, the sensational winner of the Brands Hatch first round. He's had a go on 500cc Grand Prix racing machinery, a Suzuki, but in his own words, it cost too much, and I've got plenty of time to learn. And he's using all the experience that he's had so far this season very well indeed. He was first at Brands Hatch, first at Mallory. He took a fourth place in the series, and Phil Mellor in fourth position, followed by Steve Chambers and Terry Nation, complete the six that we expected to see dominating this race. But I must say that I did not expect to see number 15, Terry Reimer, there out in the lead as much as he is. This is lap 2. It's a 10-lap race, each lap 2.36 miles long, so just under 24 miles for the entire race. Well, I wonder how Terry Reimer is going in comparison with the lap record. We'll see in a minute, because I will put the stopwatch on them as they cross the line to complete the second lap. So it's Reimer leading as they come out of the chicane. Then it is Keith Ewan. Over the line, Reimer goes. Now, Ewan is down into third position, and Mellor has taken second place. Phil Mellor has moved up into second place.
Phil Mellor took 2 places in that last swoop through the chicane. A brilliant effort for him. He's really piling on the coals now. A bit of a wobble there as he goes into the right-hander, but he's got Terry Reimer firmly in his sights, throwing the big bike from right to left. Mellor in second.
Look at Phil Mellor then. 3 times a TT winner, the British champion in the 125, 250, Formula 2 and production classes, a win in the series, 2 second places, and today he's right on top of his form. He's finished second in the 750cc class already, and he's going for victory in this Motorcycle News EBC Break Superstock event, which is round 7 out of 10. And Reimer and Mellor are pulling away. Reimer from Lee Green in London, Mellor from Huddersfield, and look at the gap behind them. Up to 140 miles an hour, and Mellor is going to try and go through on the inside of the chicane, and he does it. Phil Mellor takes the lead from Terry Reimer as they come through to complete lap 3. Keith Ewan is dropping back. Now, the lap record is 126.1, and Reimer has just gone round in 125.4. So, unofficially, and I emphasise it's my time and not officially, there is a new lap record for Terry Reimer, and therefore for Phil Mellor, because now the Huddersfield rider is out in front, 31-year-old Phil Mellor on the Herod Suzuki. Suzuki leads, Yamaha in second place. In third position, now it is Gary Noel from Frimley, the ex-250cc European champion on the Yamaha. In fourth position, it's Roger Hurst. In fifth position, it's Trevor Nation, the local rider. And in sixth place, it's Keith Ewan. So Keith Ewan is well down compared with what we expected.
I don't really know what happened to him. He was storming on and then dropped back. But Trevor Nation there, you said in fifth place. Now that's good. He comes from just down the road, Shipton Bellinger near Tidworth, and has circulated Thruxton many, many times and would have been looking for a win today. So maybe Trevor Nation's got something up his sleeve. He's still got 7 laps to go, sitting there in fifth place. But Phil Mellor, the undisputed leader at this stage, Terry Reimer in second, and Gary Noel there in third.
Well, unless Trevor Nation's got something other than his arm up his sleeve, he better produce it, because he is well down at the moment. Coming through to complete the lap over the line now. Phil Mellor leads. It's still Reimer second. It's still Noel in third position. It's Trevor Nation in fourth place, so he is producing something. He has moved up as Trevor Nation, but there's quite a gap. This is lap 5 in this 10-lap race, half distance, unofficially a lap record for Terry Reimer, which was broken, according to my timing, by number 10, Phil Mellor, the man that you are looking at. Mellor's riding in 4 classes here today, and his machines, being the Heron Suzuki official machines, are immaculately turned out. And Terry Reimer is having a real run for his money now from Gary Noel in third position, right on the rear wheel of the Londoner. There on the left is Terry Reimer in second place on the Yamaha, followed by Gary Noel, who used to ride the 250cc Exact World bike with its incredible frame construction. But now he's on a 4-cylinder, 5-valve per cylinder Yamaha, as is Reimer. And meantime, they're giving the leader, Phil Mellor, the opportunity to break away, and up into second place goes Gary Noel. Now, can he do anything about Phil Mellor, and what is Phil Mellor's lap time as he crosses the line? 1 minute 23.8. 1 minute 23.8 compared with the lap record of 1:26.1. That is how fast Phil Mellor is going. And watch the way he heels the bike right over onto the sidewalls of the tyres. You wouldn't think that it could possibly continue to hold the track, but it does. Race order, lap 6, Mellor leads. In second place, Noel. In third place, Reimer. In fourth place, Nation. In fifth position is Nichols, and in sixth position is Mark Phillips, whose nickname, not surprisingly, is Captain, and he is on the Ron Grant 360-degree crankshaft Honda 4. But Mark Phillips, who is in sixth position, is new to 4-stroke racing. This is only his second 4-stroke race, and down in 10th position as you look at the battle for second between Gary Noel in the white helmet and Terry Reimer in the red one. Keith Ewan, the championship leader, is in only 10th place.
You mentioned tyres there a while ago, Murray. Interesting enough, the formula permits any make of tyre provided it's readily available. It can be a racing tyre, and I see that most of the riders have opted for the new Michelin radials, which have a section width of 180 millimetres to the average man in the street over 7 inches. That is a terrifically wide rear tyre on these machines, and that's wider than the average man has on his motor car, so that could well explain the way they stick to the road the way they do.
There is the race leader, Phil Mellor, on his 7th lap in this 10-lap race. He's got a new lap record, according to my unofficial hand timing, at 1:23.8, which is over 2 seconds faster than the previous lap record, held jointly by Richard Scott, Keith Ewan and Steve Parrish. So he is really flying. And there is Mark Phillips out of his second race on a 4-stroke machine as the leader, and the second and third place battle goes on around. So you can see the gap now between Phil Mellor, the leader, between Gary Noel, second there, and Terry Reimer. What a terrific scrap they're having. Here's Miller. Well, Phil Miller can control the race from the front now. The question is who is going to be second. And there's a difference, as far as they are concerned, of 2 points in the championship, because you get 12 points for second place and 10 points for third place, and at the moment it's number 2 Gary Knoll on the 12 points for second place, and Terry Reimer, the 20-year-old Londoner, on those 10 points for third. Look back and you'll see the battle as Reimer goes for it, but Knoll is on the inside, he won't get through there. Meantime, Phil Miller is well away on his 8th lap in this 10-lap race. Now, there's the battle for second and third. What is going on behind them? The first 3 are through. Now, here come Knoll and Reimer. Now look at the gap before the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th go through. And in 4th position, and it's a great achievement, is Keith Nichols on the Yamaha. Well, there he is, Nichols on the Yamaha in 4th position. And they're getting pretty strung out. Compared with the 750cc production race, to my great surprise, I'll be quite honest, this Superstock race is getting a bit strung out. Phil Miller well in the lead in the closing stages of his 8th lap. In fact, he's just going into his 9th lap now, and the gap between Miller in the lead and Knoll and Reimer as they go across the line is 7.5 seconds. So Phil Miller can really take his time now.
It does look to me, from where I'm standing, Murray, that Yamaha and Suzuki do appear to be the quicker machines, albeit a fairly even formula. An absence of Kawasaki that might be rectified within the coming season, because the Kawasaki boss of the motocross effort, one Alec Wright, has been given the task of getting Kawasaki road racing on its feet for the coming season. I think we'll see a return to Grand Prix racing from Kawasaki, and also an injection into Superstocks class. So that's something for us to look forward to. But meanwhile, Miller on his Yamaha, and this fellow now, Gary Knoll, on his Yamaha, having a terrific tussle. Terry Reimer, the Londoner, hasn't given up though, and Knoll looked a little bit ragged at one stage.
Yes, with no disrespect to Knoll, keep your eyes on Terry Reimer. He's only 20 years old. He's got a very keen father who does everything he can to help his son in his motorcycle racing career, and I think he's got a great career in front of him, because he is a very level-headed, sensible, mature young man who realises that at 20 years of age he's still got a lot of time in front of him. Keith Ewan, by the way, the championship leader, must be in some kind of trouble, because he's right down now in 11th place, and Phil Miller is through. The first 3 are now on their last lap, and here is Phil Miller, one of the top riders of the day, not only here at Thruxton, but in any kind of national racing in Britain. And he's doing his chances in the championship no harm at all, because Ewan is not even going to score a point, the championship leader at the moment. Phil Miller is going to get 15 points, which will put him up into 2nd place, 3rd position behind Terry Reimer, who will move up to 2nd, with Andy McGladdery, who is in 2nd place in the championship, watching us, I think, from hospital with his injured knee. Come back soon, Andy. So, Phil Miller, almost home. He's had a 2nd place already today, and you've seen it. Now he is coming into the closing stages of this 2.36 mile lap at Thruxton to win the Shell Oil's King of Thruxton meeting Superstock race. He's out of the chicane. The checkered flag is out. Phil Miller wins and gives a triumphant shake of his fist. Very, very happy man. And the seconds are still ticking away as we wait for the 2nd and 3rd men to come across the line. And here they are. It's Gary Knoll finishing in 2nd place, with Terry Reimer in 3rd position. So Knoll managed to hold the Londoner off right to the closing stages of the race, with in 4th position Trevor Nation, in 5th position Keith Nichols, and in 6th place was Roger Hurst. But To recap, there is the winner. There is the man who has taken 15 points to move up in the championship. And it is, of course, Phil Mellor, the winner on his Heron Suzuki.